music down here. Here we go. Okay, I think I am ready to go here. Just did a lot of stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and let this song play out because I do like this particular track. All right, okay. Making sure all my settings are right as always. There it is. I always keep messing around with the picture settings. I never know what I like. I like having full screen. And I don't know if I like that or if I like this. I'll just go full screen. I like that. All right. Well, okay. Come on, computer. Keep up with me, computer. All right, there we go. This is about as good a time as any to get going on this live stream. Thank you all for joining me again tonight. Whether you're live, lurking, bouncing around in the chat, or catching me on replay. It's been one of those days, I tell you, when you think you have to get so much done in a day, and there's only so much you can pack into an 8 to 10 hour workday. And I still didn't get everything I needed accomplished today, but that's what tomorrow's for, maybe, if I can get things done tomorrow. Oh, and right off the bat, hello, Killer Rabbit from Space. Thanks for joining me tonight. So for tonight, I was looking around stuff to chat about. I was trying to narrow down my list of topics for week to week, one night to the next. And the one thing I kept coming up with is AI art, or so-called AI art, because I don't believe it's, well, my own opinion is I don't believe it's real art. It's computer-generated artwork, or artwork by algorithm. Or honestly, you don't know what you're dealing with when you're sitting in front of a computer typing text in a little text box, hitting enter, and then a few seconds later this image pops up on the screen. Is it art or is it an algorithm? It's art by text. It's art by something that really, I don't think anybody really understands what it is. Oh, sure, people will say, oh, we create this AI algorithm that it can generate a image from your text input. Now, I'm probably going to go out on a limb and say, do you really know what you're interacting with. You're sitting in front of a computer, typing away, watching images come up on a screen. But do you really know what you're interacting with? Another computer, another algorithm? I mean, seriously, movies and TV shows have been made about rogue AIs, computer systems bent on destruction, and we're going like, oh, look, we can make art with it. Or we can even go as far as, oh, look at this comic book I've created. As if bad things aren't bad enough in the comic book industry, along comes people with the ability to create their own comic books. Now, I'm somewhere on the fence on this. On one hand, this is a terrible thing to the comic book industry, let alone uh, art. On the other hand, well, people are free to create using whatever tools they have at hand. Of course, not everybody's a experienced comic book artist or what have you, but already this has gotten off into a very rocky start. I'm going to just, let's see, what do I want to go into? Oh, I'll just jump right into the first article I came across on this. There we go. CBR. We got a CBR article here. This was almost a year ago. I haven't really kept up with this too much. I've gone over a little bit here and there. I'm coming at this from a point of view of a semi-retired professional photographer. I say semi-retired because I'm still somewhat active. I'm a little bit more selective about what shoots I do. So I say semi-retired professional photographer. I'll still do a portrait session here and there, but it's not as much as I was doing 5 or 10 years ago. So I'm coming at it from a completely different point of view. I will say, as a photographer, I've played around with some of the early art generators that were out there, saying what so-called portraits AI can create. And my first impression with these were they were soulless, they were empty, they had no impact. There was just nothing to them. They looked very plasticky, very hollow. It's not like working with a professional model you have in front of your camera. It's you, the model, your camera, the lens, what you can create one-on-one during a portrait session, whether it's in studio or on location. If you got a nice location, nice scenery, nice cityscape, what have you, there's something there. It's two humans creating art. Wow. Oh, sorry about that. I had to clear my throat there. Just when I think the allergies were about to die down on me, they seem to be picking up where I live. But going back to this is no AI art. My first impression of it is soulless, hollow. I can't put into words. I mean, this image is pretty bad. This is everything bad with AI art. And the title of this article is AI Created Comic Officially Loses Copyright Protection Rights for Its Images. An AI created comic book maintains its copyright for the story of the comic book, but not the AI created images from the comic book. This is a pretty big deal, I believe. The United States Copyright Office has issued its official ruling regarding a previously copyrighted comic book where the art was created using AI art. And the results were a bit of a split decision. This is going to be something that is probably going to be controversial for a good number of years to come, because it is going to spur discussion, debate, back and forth on what is AI art. Is it real art, or is it what some people have termed scraping the internet for images to essentially copy or rehash or whatnot for its own algorithm? Okay. I'll get into this article. I'm going to be jumping around from a number of articles here, and then I'm going to be showing some examples of AI art, and then I'm going to be discussing comic books created with AI art, or dedicated AI comic book generators. I'll be giving my thoughts on the matter, and then whether good or bad, it's going to be up to everybody, well, individual users, those who want to use those art generators, air quotes. Okay, diving into this article here. Chris Kashtanova. Some of these names really trip me up. But anyway, this person, Chris, announced last year that they had received a U.S. copyright on their comic book, Zara of the Dawn, a comic book inspired by the late grandmother that she had created with the text-to-image engine Midjourney. Soon after the comic was initially copyrighted, the United States Copyright Office discovered through their social media postings that the images for the comic were created using AI art. Dum dum dum. At which point the office requested further information on the matter. At the end of last year, it tentatively determined it would revoke the copyright protection on the art of the comic, but gave Chris and her attorneys a month to appeal the decision. That time has passed. The final ruling has now been issued on the matter. Honestly, if you're not an experienced artist, I would my own thoughts is pick up a pencil, get some paper, and start creating. Even if it's some rudimentary sketches, it's your art. It's something you created with your own imagination and skill set. Or you could always just go out and ask a artist friend to help you out. Now, this article goes on. What is the argument for AI art to be copyrightable? I kind of skimmed over this article earlier. I don't really want to go through it all because I've got a few more I'm going to cover tonight. Like I said, this is probably going to be the sort of thing that's going to be discussed, argued about, debated for quite a number of years to come. Now, a pretty famous individual here, Guillermo, I know I butchered that first, Del Toro, very famous director here, filmmaker. Del Toro, director of the recent stop-motion Pinocchio, echoed Miyazaki's criticisms of AI-generated artwork. He calls it AI art an insult to life itself. So yeah, he's not beating around the bush here on that. Director of Pan's Labyrinth, The Shape of Water, and Netflix's recent stop-motion Pinocchio, was highly critical of the recent trend of AI-generated artwork. The filmmaker recently spoke to Decider about making Pinocchio, which was a painstaking, delicate process that involved intricate puppets with immovable silicone skin. I don't believe I've even seen any of this, but that already sounds really cool. Del Toro was quoting Japanese filmmaker Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki, the co-founder of Studio Ghibli. So yeah, there's another heavyweight in the industry. And director of several award-winning animated films like My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. Miyazaki made that comment in the 2016 documentary Never Ending Man after viewing an AI-generated animation of a zombie-like creature. Miyazaki, I tell you, it's been a long day when I'm stumbling over words left and right. Miyazaki said that its depiction of pain was entirely insincere and that humans were losing faith in ourselves by comparing human art to AI art. Del Toro isn't alone in his hatred for AI art. Besides Miyazaki, Del Toro also mentioned artist Dave McKean, who's worked on comics like Sandman, Hellblazer, Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum, and several other projects, including album artwork and feature films. Wow. Oh, okay. Now there's a little trailer for Netflix's Pinocchio. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm presenting to you tonight I'm going to be going over like both sides of this, the anti AI art, and then I'm going to be going over to a comic book creator who goes on and on about his comic book that he created using AI art. Oh, and another thing I came across while getting ready for tonight's live stream was this article. This is, what is it? Stable Diffusion Litigation. This is a website. As the top of it here says, we've filed a lawsuit challenging AI image generators for using artists' work without consent, credit, or compensation, because AI needs to be fair and ethical for everyone. So this was January of last year, January of 2023. Let's see. Teamed up for a lawsuit challenging GitHub Copilot, an AI coding assistant built on unprecedented open source software piracy. We filed lawsuits on behalf of book authors challenging Chat GPT and Llama. Wow. This as we filed an initial complaint against Stability AI, DeviantArt, and Midjourney for their use of Stable Diffusion, a 21st century collage tool that remixes copyrighted works of millions of artists whose work was used as training data. Okay, I am somewhat familiar with this, and I do support the plaintiffs here, but I'm kind of mixed on this. It's like I don't know how this is going to shake out. I mean, I have not really I'm kind of familiar with it, I'm familiar with some of the artists that are behind this lawsuit, like Gerald Brom, fantasy artist. Uh, ooh, uh, Another person whose name I'm probably going to butcher here, a Beijing born, US based Singaporean photographer whose award winning works have appeared in Vogue, Time, and Harper's Bazaar. So, yeah, I'm quite familiar with her work. A very famous photographer. Adam Ellis. So, yeah, the defendants. This is interesting. Like I said, I have not kept up with this, and there is something up here about case updates. November 2023. So last year, well, just a couple of months ago, plaintiffs have filed an amended complaint. Okay, so it's still going through the court process, it looks like. Now, things like this are going to be interesting. I'm going to say over the next 5 to 10 years, more of this is going to make its way through the court of public opinion and legal courts and copyright courts. And for those of you who keep up with this, you're probably already aware of Stable Diffusion litigation. This is another interesting article I came across. AI generated artwork has no place in the comic book industry. This is news from Wells, October 23rd of 2023. With 30 plus years experience in marketing, You Love Print's online business development director, Kelly Harris, describes himself as a passionate believer in the power of ink on paper. When it comes to comic books, and more specifically comic book printing, he recognizes the danger AI presents not just to the professional community of creatives, but also the culture and importance of comic books overall. So yeah, this is no small thing. This has been around for some time. I've kind of paid attention off and on. Haven't really dug into it until recently. Oh, and the chat I see. Hello, Melted Copper. Thanks for joining me tonight. The craft of a man and a pen is dying. Yes. Yes. A person, a pen, paper, whether it's writing or drawing, the craft, the artwork behind that is certainly dying, or it's having a rough go of it. Let's see. I haven't really skimmed through this article too much. How AI is used to create art. At the moment, users feed AI tools information about the past works and style of the artist or form that they're trying to recreate. This may include descriptions of characters and images, from which new images are generated through learned knowledge. So yeah, it's these AI algorithms that pretty much scrape the internet, pretty much looking at every image they can come across, break it down into whatever it does in its algorithm, and then just regurgitates it or stirs it around, well, throws everything in a pot, stirs, and then creates something different. Ooh. Okay, this Getty Images is showing Stable Diffusion for copying and processing images without obtaining licenses. Okay, I've heard of that, but I haven't really dug into that. That's interesting. Recently, the U.S. Copyright Office has limited the scope of protection afforded to comic books that have used AI-created images. It could be the protections are found elsewhere. I think that over the next 2 to 5 years, as all this makes its way through the court systems, there will probably be something struck in the middle. It will probably be some kind of agreement that neither side, pro or against, will be completely satisfied with, but it will probably be an agreement that will try to give some kind of break to both sides. I'm not sure. I can't even imagine how this would turn out, how any of these suits or whatnot will turn out through the court systems. I mean, this is just wild when you think about all this making its way through, like I said, topic of heated discussion, debate, discussion, arguments back and forth. People on both sides of the issue quite passionate for and against. And the days of Alex Ross being fine, actual human art comic. Yeah. I mean, no, there's plenty of good examples of comic book artists out there. Looking at both sides of this, it's like you've got experienced, established artists out there that are against AI art, and then you've got people out there who can't draw stick figures but are excited that they have something that they can use to create their own comic books. Melted Copper. No, you did not miss Marvel Masterworks Night. My nostalgia live streams I do once every 3 weeks, maybe. I want to keep my nostalgia driven live streams few and far between because I want them to be like really special. So my live stream on the Marvel Masterworks card series. Well, I kind of go over those. That's upcoming. That might be another 2 or 3 weeks from now. I'm on nostalgia-driven live streams. I'm going to keep those pretty rare. They won't be like every week. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I'll probably do a little bit of planning for my more nostalgia-driven live streams. So I'll get the word out there on those. But that's a coming. Now back to AI artwork. I can actually see, I'm against AI art for the most part, but I can actually see the other side where people want to use these generators to create their own artwork or their own comic books or what have you. It's something that I guess people see as a legitimate tool in creating, air quotes, their own artwork. Like if I was to create a comic book, I would script it out and then I would find a artist friend to do the actual artwork. I wouldn't turn to AI art generator unless I just really wanted to create like a rough draft or something. Like if I was trying to convey a concept for a scene to an artist, like I would probably do something like that. Let's see. So with all that being said, here's one of the tools you can use, or an individual can use, a creative person can use to create their own comic book. Create comics with AI. Unleash the unparalleled magic, if you want to call it that, of comicsmaker.ai where your wildest ideas metamorphose into awe-inspiring, jaw-dropping comics with the sheer brilliance of cutting-edge AI tools. Yeah. And we scroll down, this gives you an example of what this website can apparently do. Page designer, text to image, image to image. Submit a reference image, and our AI will transform it into captivating artwork that beautifully encapsulates the essence of the original picture. If you say so. Now, this I don't really have much of a problem with. If you can do some kind of rudimentary artwork and you just want to touch it up and you don't want to learn how to use Photoshop, I've been using Adobe Photoshop for I don't know how many years. Easily a dozen years, probably closer to 20 years. I don't know. 15 years. I think I first started playing around with Adobe Photoshop when version 5 was out there, and now I don't even know what version is out there. But yeah, image to image, I don't really have much of a problem with that because Adobe has started incorporating aspects of AI editing tools into their latest Creative Cloud version of Photoshop, where the AI can adjust or alter or edit parts of a photograph for you. I mean, I guess it's just another tool for an artist's toolbox if you're going at it from that point of view. But if you're just typing away text in a text box, text to image, this is where it gets a little tricky because, like I said, previous articles here going on about the copyright issues with AI generators. Excuse me. That's a whole nother issue entirely. So yeah, I haven't really dug into this because I am not all that enthused about spending more time sitting in front of a computer telling a text box how to make a image. Okay. This is pretty interesting. Art styles. Create unique characters influenced by the aesthetics of Marvel, DC, anime, or manga, offering the versatility to generate both cartoon style and realistic images to suit your artistic preferences. Okay, so we got DC, we got manga, we got whatever this is. This looks more like anime, Marvel style, whatever this style is. Free, best option for exploring AI art. For people who are dabbling in this, I'm not going to fault them for that. I mean, I guess to each their own. And then I came across this blog. This is Comicscape. This person, I guess this is somebody who uses AI generators to make comic books, and this person has essentially created their own comic books, or number of their own comic books. Go back here. Yeah, create comics using AI basic guide. So this person has created a basic guide on how to use AI generated. They've even created 2 different comic books here. The AI generated comic, Batman Gotham's Midnight Enigma. This was fun. I'm actually going to show you what a comic book created by this person. This is about me. Small content creator whose artificial intelligence, who use artificial intelligence to create comics and comic tutorials. Been doing this for a while now, and I've created plenty of comic books and tutorials. You can go to my YouTube page and learn how I make these comic books in simple ways. All right, let's just dive right into this Batman comic book made with AI. Oh, won't this be fun? So yeah, don't know what that says. I can't read that. Oh, look at this. This is pretty much everything I've come to expect from AI artwork so far. Gotham City, a place of darkness and despair. Batman, the protector of Gotham, ever vigilant. But there is hope in the form of a dark knight. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, Batman fights for justice in a city ruled by fear. Batman arrived to the location showed on his map by his Batman. Okay, I'm guessing the AI also did the text, because this is some janky writing here. This is the place where Signal came from. Batman started to investigate the area. Meanwhile, something else approached him. It was a gang of criminals. Oh no. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is oh, it's the Riddler. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's Batman Gotham Knight's Enigma. Yeah, one of 2 comic books produced by this person on Comicscape. Comics made using AI. Yay. All right, so there's that. Now, moving right along to the person I mentioned at the start of this live stream. Pretty well known, pretty famous individual who's, I consider, a creative. I mean, he's written his own book, and now he's turned his book into a comic book where he advocates for the use of AI art. Actually, I like Shad. Shad's a pretty good fellow. I've seen a number of his YouTube videos where he was discussing different medieval weapons, armor, and whatnot. Very entertaining fellow. I don't believe I'm going to agree with his viewpoint on AI art, but you know what? To each their own. I'm not going to tell anyone they can't or they shouldn't. That looks like, I guess it looks pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to fault him for taking his dream, his vision, and getting it out there, even if it is using AI art. Oh, and this is another AI art generator I came across. This is, I don't even know what this is. Spaces. We got different art styles here. I click on that, spaces. Now, I don't know. Hugging Face website. Yeah, huggingface.co. I'm going to back it up a bit. And this is a AI comic factory. Yeah, so this is something a little bit different from comicsmaker.ai. This is AI comic factory. Yay. I don't know. Like I said, to each their own. And Shad has a pretty interesting gallery on his own DeviantArt page. I mean, this is pretty interesting. This is what I was going back earlier, where you take, if you can create some kind of artwork and you run it through an AI generator to, I don't know, use AI to improve it. He's got some examples here of base image generation and then final version after 53 rounds of edits and 4 hours work. So I've heard a little bit about his process. I haven't really watched any of his videos on the process that he does. He goes, here's another one. Okay, so I'm guessing he hand drew this image and then put it through an AI generator, his original drawing. As he says in this caption down here, he loves AI art and how you can use the image generators to enhance your hand-drawn art. Absolutely amazing. This conversion took 70 rounds of edits and generations to keep the armor accurate, but add new details. The challenge is heaps of fun, especially with these results. Okay. And I'm honestly on the fence on this. On one hand, I can see where he's getting excited about the process. On the other hand, I would say the time you spent waiting on a AI generator to spit out this spiffy image, you could use that time to work on your artwork. Spend that time in Photoshop. Well, that's pretty cool looking. This is an AI assisted artwork, starting with a very refined prompt. Okay, so this was text generation. So yeah, if I was kind of going back and forth on this on text generation versus a rough sketch, this is my preference, is working with a rough sketch and improving the rough sketch, and then maybe using an AI art generator to, I don't know, fine tune it. Ack. I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh well. Another article about Shad I found was this article was Know Your Meme. Shad M. Brooks AI art supposedly takes no effort. girl beheading dragon controversy. This says 2 months ago. So this is kind of recent. This is a AI art controversy. Refers to an online backlash inspired by a post from writer Shad M. Brooks in which he shares an AI-generated image of a Japanese schoolgirl cutting a dragon's head off with a katana and refutes the claims that AI art takes no effort. Writing the piece was the most challenging he's ever done. The post inspired criticism. Oh, I bet it has. The artwork inspired artists to draw their own versions of the artwork and rally against AI-generated art in general. Let's see. Just looking over this text here he's written. He's very happy with the results. Not saying the image is flawless, not at all. Indeed, I think if a more talented artist knew how to use AI tools, they can make a far better AI image than me, he says. But yeah, no. Let's click on this particular image here and see what the buzz is all about. Oh, already. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No, that's pretty bad. And then we scroll down on this post here. We get the reactions where artists create their own images. That looks pretty cool. Oh, way better. Artwork examples. So this has been pretty interesting. I mean, this is while I'm not a fan of AI generated art, it's hard to criticize somebody who has taken the time to create their own comic book or what have you. I mean, Shat has certainly done a lot of work on his gallery. I can understand that the subject matter is certainly divisive. And this sort of thing, I just don't think will be solved anytime soon. I'm looking at this one particular image here, his original concept sketch, then the AI generated conversion. Let's see if I can enlarge this. I'm just going to say that you lose something in the conversion process. You lose the uniqueness of the hand-drawn image. You lose the personality. Quite frankly, you lose the humanity and whatever style you might have developed if you took the time to develop your artistic style. I mean, this looks kind of generic. This looks interesting and unique. If you took the time to work on a artistic style as an artist, drawing, perfecting your craft, Yeah. There's worlds difference between the original drawing and then the AI colored. I don't think that's anything you can really carry over from a hand drawn image to an AI generated image. You lose the style, you lose the humanity to it. You can advocate it for it all day long, but I think there's so much lost in the conversion. But with that said, I'm not going to rain on anybody's parade. If there are people out there who, like I said, can't draw stick figures, but you want to create your own comic book, I guess there's plenty of resources out there, because at one time, things like Photoshop was kind of frowned upon. Because if you were a professional photographer, you only did your editing in the dark room. You didn't do any of that funny business with the computer editing program. But times have changed over the past 20, 30 years or so since Adobe came out with Photoshop. We could see I wouldn't say changing face of comic books. I'll say certain aspects of it could be evolving, perhaps. I think for people who just want to play around creating an AI comic book, there's certainly a lot of tools out there. For me, yeah, I'm kind of against it myself. Let me keep up with the chat. I want to thank you all for hanging out tonight. Let's see. Killer Rabbit from Space, Melted Copper. Thank you for hanging out. I've been rambling on here for not quite an hour, but I didn't think I'd spend too terribly long on this. Let's see. In the chat, Melted Copper says, suppose around Deadpool 3 would be a better time for the larger world, and what would be hit at that time? I mean, what would be coming out with the MCU around the time of Deadpool 3? Possible. We really don't know what's coming out there as far as the next crop of MCU films. I haven't really kept up with it. I've seen pretty much what everybody else has seen, whether it's Marvel's, Disney's plan for upcoming movies, along with Disney's upcoming movies. I think it's all a mess, honestly. Looking at the current state for Marvel and DC, everything is one big mess, isn't it? I don't even know where to begin with, say, James Gunn or anything the higher ups at, say, Disney has in mind. I haven't really kept up with it. Like I said, it's more of a wait and see for me. I have really no expectations for what's coming down the pipe as far as superhero movies, whether it's Marvel or DC. I could even think that we could get to a point where somebody could bang out a script for a Marvel movie, feed it into an AI generator, and poof, there's your Marvel movie. No hassle of hiring actors, filming them, doing the special effects. Just have a AI art generator pump out the movie. We're probably not at that point, but that's probably on the horizon. I can just imagine an AI art algorithm generator hooked up to, say, a massive render farm, like the computer networks used to render, say, a 3D animated movie or what have you. And then somebody feeds it the script to a movie and just let it go. Then maybe a couple of weeks later, there's an animated full-length movie based on a book or a what have you, or a comic book. That's probably not too far off. I mean, we're dealing with single images now, and comic book creating, generating programs. No telling what's further down the line. But since I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight as I ramble on about my thoughts on AI art. They're rather amusing examples I've seen here and checked out. Like I said, I'm probably in the middle of the road on this. I can see both sides of it. I lean more toward anti-AI art, but I'm not going to poo-poo somebody using these generators to make their own comic books. I would suggest that their time and energy and effort would be better spent sitting down with a pencil and art pad and working on creating their own artistic style, or possibly just working with an artist while they work a script for a comic book. I mean, if I were to create a comic book, that's probably what I would do. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, whether you're joining me live, lurking out there, or catching me on a replay. I want to shout out Killer Rabbit from Space, as always, and Melted Copper. I'm going to end it for right now because I can feel myself running out of steam, as it's a little past midnight. So this is probably a good point to end the stream. I pretty much covered my thoughts on the subject matter and touched on some humorous examples of AI art. So I hope you all have enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring. Until next time, everyone, I'll leave you with that. And life is too short for bad entertainment. If you don't like something, don't watch it or read it. Go to something you do enjoy. So until next time, everyone, see ya.